Daniel, Ital.
And I'm Matt. I started Unsound Festival in Krakow. It's 9 years ago. It's the 10th edition this year in Poland. Then there weren't very many music festivals in Poland, and it seemed like there was a gap. So we started this festival, but it was quite small and kind of underground for the first 5 years. And actually, strangely enough, on the very first night of Unsound in Krakow, in this small medieval cellar, he played. It was like quite eclectic from the beginning, as demonstrated by the fact that we had Black Eyes playing, and we also had a lot of electronic music. It, at points, has been categorized as an electronic music festival, but that's not what Unsound is or ever was. It's kind of just trying to, break down like kind of borders between genres and show connections between different genres in music, but always show different kinds of music that could be called advanced or ambitious. And it's hard to define exactly why we choose what we choose.
I mean, I think that maybe the electronic thing is just that there's like, you have, just so much energy being like filtered through like electronics. I mean, it's kind of like in the 90s you had all this energy being filtered through guitar music, and you probably would have like a fest with a bunch of rock bands on it, but would it be like a rock fest or like whatever,
Yeah, I think that if you're trying to program a festival that is including artists who are kind of trying to push boundaries or ideas of music, and it's 2011, it's kind of obvious.
2012 though.
Oh, sorry, 2012. it's kind of obvious that it's going to include a lot of music that involves technology or electronic music in some way. It wasn't the intention at the beginning to start a big festival here. We were invited by the Goethe Institute, which is the cultural institute promoting German culture, and they invited us to do something here, and Unsound kind of became this link between different people who were already putting on music here.
Coming up, like playing punk shows and stuff, it's like, you really quickly learn like that not to expect. I mean, I feel like I need to like maybe retrain my mind to like demand things, because I'm just like, no, fuck it, like I don't need anything, like I don't need money, I don't need like a PA, like I don't care. Like,
I can sleep on a floor.
I mean, I sleep on the floor in my room.
Oh, okay.
My name is Cameron, and I have a band called Araw. People seem more open to hearing really extreme sorts of music, like the nice thing about my music is that it's crushingly simple, you know what I mean? It's like the basic extent of it is like, this one's an A, and it sort of has this feel, but like other than that, like we fall into certain sections, and there's certain things that we do in certain orders and kind of write it, but for the most part, like what anyone's actually playing is like totally, there's no parts, written or anything. It's just sort of like, this is the part where you vibe that way. I make a lot of stuff, and I always want to put it out, Like I always like kind of struggle with it being too much. Like I always have to like put the brakes on myself and like not put it out, but it gets exciting. And also like things feel old to me so fast. So Ancient Romans was the longest I think it's ever taken me to get a record out, except for the Congos record, which has been done for almost a year now. I mean, none of it was anything, it was just like 7 minutes of just like an idea, And like, so we just like in 3 days tracked the whole record, but we pretty much did it the way I record at home, which is just, I don't know, like someone would be like, oh, I hear a keyboard part, oh, I hear a guitar part, and just like going for it that way. We made that record, it was never intended to be performed live. It was made like, in a studio in Jamaica in like 2 days while we were just like up all night, and so it's, and like a lot of it is gonna be really hard to reproduce, so we're not gonna try. We're gonna put together a band to sort of interpret the songs, which is basically what I do with Araw too, because it's like the recordings are all me solo, and most of them would be sort of impossible to replicate, so I just kind of always try to figure out what the crucial vibe is and like replicate that,
Hi, I'm Hieroglyphic Being, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm here in New York, up in Brooklyn, playing the Unsound Festival. Hello, people. See, the problem is, though, in Chicago, it wasn't house music that influenced people that's in-house. It was the prototype stuff that influenced it for it to come about. So anything disco, anything industrial, anything new age, environmental music, synth pop. I got influenced by a lot of early stuff like John Cage, Stockhausen, a lot of PBS in my household when I was growing up, a lot of sci-fi books. So for me, it was a lot of fringe things that gave me my aspect or outlook towards what house should be like or sound like. So when I heard like DAF, or I heard like Dead Can Dance, or I heard like Throbbing Gristle, that caught my ear more than say a disco tune. The group that I hung out with, we were more into like the acid tracks, the Gherkin stuff, the industrial, the art noise. And then like we'd go to parties and the clean or more conformed people would make fun of us. So in every faction, in every group, in every scene, you're gonna have like the weird ones. So I kind of came up with the weird ones. I mean, even up to like 2 years ago, they were still telling me that's not what's happening now. And all of a sudden, it's happening now. People's minds have started expanding, open up to more, I call fringe stuff. Some form of spiritual awakening, enlightenment. Maybe people are tired of just the same programming they get fed day in and day out. And maybe now they caught up with people who are into fringe things. Maybe they finally caught up and decided to want to like experience new sights and sounds and emotions and feelings through art, literature, music, whatever. But all the stuff I was doing was basically paying homage to the people who came before me. So everything I'm doing now is not new. All I'm doing is just carrying on the lineage of other people who came before me. And hopefully there'll be people after me to do the same thing and pass it on to someone else. And hopefully it won't be considered not cool or cool, but just people are just open to different things